Hello, everyone. Welcome to Close Up on America's Business, the program that takes you inside some of the most unique and successful companies in America. I'm Janice Marie. On each edition of our show, you have the opportunity to meet some of the most innovative business leaders in the country today. You'll find out what their products, services, technologies, and business models can do for you, and what they're doing to change our world and to change the way we do business.
You know, it's amazing how many professions there are that used to be totally male-dominated, but over the years have opened up to women who are now succeeding in those professions really beyond all expectation. The medical and legal fields are two prime examples. You know, today in some law schools, women make up more than half the students enrolled. Another example is the field of architecture. You are about to meet a female architect who, after getting her degree and traveling the world observing different architectural styles, decided to go out on her own and open an office. And ever since she listed herself in the phone book under her name, Susan Sheffmaker Architect, her phone has been ringing off the hook from prospective clients wanting the insight and ideas from a female architect's perspective. And she has become quite busy doing retail and residential renovations. We visited with her recently at a Greek restaurant that she designed the renovations for in Woodbridge, New Jersey, and talked with her about her job.
Susan had a tremendous impact. We loved her.
I would say that the majority of the work that I do is residential, probably about 70%. The remaining 30% is mostly commercial business spaces consisting of restaurants and food establishments. They tend to be restaurants such as this, or delis, or packaged goods stores. And then residentially, the bulk of the work is master bedroom suites, people adding on spaces for themselves or for their kids or for entertaining friends and family as they come over.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Susan, but my understanding is that architecture is primarily a male-dominated business. I'm wondering, what's it like being a female architect?
It's astoundingly receptive. I had expected that it would be much more difficult than it is going into a construction field, being able to hold my own and being able to have people respond to me in a positive way. But amazingly, people are really looking for a woman architect because there is a certain element that I can provide on a job that male architects don't seem to regularly provide, and that is a certain sensitivity of understanding the client and understanding the needs of what they're looking for, and then the communication level between them, the building department, the contractors, to make the whole job move along smoothly.
I've been doing this a very long time. Being a contractor and a restaurant owner, I've dealt with architects in many levels. Well, there are a lot of advantages with working with women architects. They're more detail-oriented. They don't go over the top with a lot of stuff that you really don't need. They look at the space that you want to build, and they build it for you. If you do need something, Susan was able to talk me through on what the building department might require us to have.
So when I walked in and looked at the space, it was a very raw space. It had been a food establishment before, but it was certainly nowhere for what it is now. It's come full circle from what it was. And when I met with Spiro as a contractor, I knew he understood construction. You can tell by meeting somebody when they understand how the process goes. Not every contractor really does. So when I walked through the space, I thought, sure, this would be a very nice project. I could see how it could move along quickly. And he was in a hurry. He wanted it to go quickly. And I like that. I don't like the jobs that get long and drawn out. So if somebody wants to move and they're serious about it, it's a nice match for me.
Susan, tell me a little bit about your background. It really is very, very interesting.
Initially, I started working for architecture firms in high school. I had taken a drafting course in high school, and I ended up pursuing it. It was a nice mix between business and the artistic side. So when I went to architecture school, I went to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York. It's a 5-year program. During that program, I studied in Rome a semester, and I also studied in Copenhagen, Denmark for a semester. Through studying in other countries, it gives you an enormous understanding of the fine details of what can make architecture grand. It doesn't have to be these giant, enormous things that make it beautiful. It could be just a simple detail on the facade or a simple finish on the floor that makes a space look beautiful.
Instinctively knew a lot of things we wanted?
She was very warm. She was very understanding. She knew exactly what I wanted, and she knew the concept of the whole idea of Pilates and yoga, which is really being compassionate about the whole business. And we loved her. We really did. We loved her. I said to Wendy, I think after like the first 15 minutes, I said, I think we're gonna,
she's really a nice lady. We really like her.
I think we're gonna stick
She
with
met
her.
with us whenever we needed to. She was very flexible in time, morning, noon, or night. She was very easy, very accessible.
I find that women can relax more and are much more communicative in telling me what they want than they are telling a man. Especially when you're walking through their bedroom and they're explaining their bathroom and they're saying, I want this arrangement or that arrangement. There's no hesitation in completely filling me in on what they're looking for.
We decided we wanted to bump out and expand the kitchen. We thought it was a small addition, but it had a tremendous impact. I felt a female architect would understand my needs more, especially for a kitchen. And in meeting with her, she was just very pleasant, very easy to work with. We worked as a team. She did not come here with her own agenda. She was very open to our ideas and suggestions.
When I first came in to meet with the Zenioses, the kitchen was very long and narrow. It actually stopped right about here. There was a counter on each side with a very narrow space in between. And what they wanted to do was push out the side about 6 feet, which initially seems like it wouldn't be enough to make a difference. But what we ended up doing in pushing it out, we also lifted up the ceiling to give a much more open, airy feeling. And what that does is it opens up the entire kitchen to then feel very large and spacious with a very simple addition.
In addition to the kitchen, we redo our bathroom. And at the time, we only had a shower, so we wanted to accommodate a tub as well. And Susan came up with the great idea to bump out another 6 feet. And by doing that, we accommodated the tub, and we have that almost enclosed in its own private area, which is very nice.
The bathroom also was a very simple addition. They were looking to add a hot tub. And at that point, they had a shower, and they were trying to decide whether to take that space out of the master bedroom itself or to eliminate their walk-in closet, both options which really didn't appeal to them at all. So what I ultimately suggested was to bump out the back of the house, the size of the hot tub, and then renovate the entire bathroom around that. We ended up doing the same cathedral ceiling there, the raised ceiling at the addition portion. And again, it made that whole portion at the hot tub a very special place to be. It made it very dynamic, and it went from being a small 8-foot ceiling box to being a very unique space.
She was more than helpful to me with the town and kept the job progressing. So it was a delightful experience to work with her.
Susan, now that you've done this, you've taken the big leap, you've gone out on your own, do you think you'll be kind of an inspiration to other women who are architects to do the same thing, follow in your footsteps?
Definitely being out on my own. My family has always been a family of 9-to-5 business people, and 2 of my brothers have both gone out on their own since, and my nephew has also gone out on his own. So we've definitely been inspiring people to take that leap and try and change their life for the better.
The interesting life and career of Susan Sheffmaker, architect, succeeding quite well in what once was a very male-dominated business. I'm Doug Llewelyn reporting from New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Well, that does it for this edition of Close Up on America's Business. I'm Janice Marie. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.